Joe, Israel's Haaretz newspaper recently wrote that this report by the IAEA is no smoking gun, but rather a missile with a nuclear warhead on it. Seems they're pretty close to the mark.
Well, this is an excellent report that sums up everything we've known about the Iranian program, clearly demonstrating that Iran is and has been working on nuclear weapons technology. But it really is not anything brand new. Anybody familiar with this, like I am, have been following this and have known these facts for some time. I got briefed on many of the facts in this report at the IAEA headquarters in Vienna several years ago. So it doesn't really advance our knowledge much about what Iran is up to as much as expose it to a broader public.
But if you look at the reports from the IAEA under Mohammed al-Baradei from 1997 until 2009, for years the reports that came out said that there was no transparency, the Iranians really aren't up to much that we can prove. The Israelis are outraged by this. They're saying that Mohammed al-Baradei essentially bought the Iranians time to build a nuclear bomb.
Well, there's no evidence that Iran is actually working on a nuclear bomb right now. In fact, the intelligence agencies of the United States have said that Iran has not yet made that a decision, and nothing in this report indicates that Iran is actually working on a nuclear warhead. They said they've done work on technologies that would allow them to build a bomb should they decide to do so. That may seem like a small distinction, but it's a difference between doing research and having a crash program to build a bomb. There's nothing inevitable or imminent about an Iranian nuclear weapon. What you see is a difference in approach. Mohammed al-Baradei favored a more diplomatic approach. Clearly, Secretary General Amano is going more for the pressure approach in conformity with what the U.S. wants.
But as far as the Israelis are concerned, that difference doesn't really mean a lot to them because they're the ones who are in the crosshairs of Iran right now.
Well, an Iranian conflict with Israel would quickly become a regional war, so it involves much more than just Israel. And what you've seen in Israel is a real division in public opinion. You've seen half the public favoring military strikes, half opposed. Some of the leaders blustering or are saying, we're going to strike, we're going to strike. Others coming out publicly warning that this would be a disaster for Israel. So what you've fallen back on is the kind of standard Israeli approach. Every time there's a pressure point like this, there's the possibility of stronger sanctions. Israel rises up and says, do something strong or else we're going to strike. I think this will, in fact, increase U.S. determination to impose more sanctions. You'll probably see the State Department announce new unilateral U.S. sanctions on Iran next week.
Okay, the U.S. is one member of the UN Security Council. Russia and China are the other key members of the UN Security Council. And right now, they don't appear to be at least willing to even contemplate tough new sanctions on Iran, especially targeting the banking sector, which a lot of people say is the only thing which is going to work here.
Well, that's right. Russia and China, Russia came out today with a very strong criticism of this report. They think this is the wrong way to go, so it's unlikely you'll get UN Security Council sanctions. What you'll see in the United States is a debate over targeted sanctions. That's what the State Department is likely to pursue, focused on the Revolutionary Guard, on the missile program, on the technology program. These sanctions have been very effective in the last few years at slowing the program down, strangling the supply of materials to these programs that Iran can get, versus some of the conservatives in Congress who want to have central bank sanctions, stop the central bank from being able to do financial transactions with the rest of the world. Sounds good, but the problem is that would basically paralyze the flow of 2 million barrels a day of oil coming out of Iran. That would be a huge blow to a very fragile global economy. You could see this killing jobs in Europe, killing jobs in America. That's why the U.S. is very unlikely to take that kind of sanction.